today is about workplaces. And as heartbreaking as it is to close down places of employment, and whilst I never thought that I would be telling people not to go to work, that is what we have to do in order to stop the spread of this wildly infectious virus, this deadly virus. This 6-week period is absolutely critical. We have got to make decisions, very difficult decisions, but we've got to err on the side of doing everything we possibly can to drive these case numbers down so that at the end of that 6-week period we're not having to contemplate what further steps we might have to take. It is most uncertain about what those steps would be. So what we'll do, I'll go through some examples in each of those 3 settings. I'll describe some of the further work that we're going to be doing throughout the week. I'll also take you through 2 timelines that will relate to different businesses and different sectors. And then I want to make it very clear to you that any clearance or any fact-checking, if you like, for things you're going to publish in papers tomorrow or graphics you're going to put up on the TV, we will do everything we possibly can to support you in that. And what's more, if there's a need for separate briefings to take people through lots of intricate, quite detailed questions, we're more than happy to set those up. They can be completely separate to the daily briefing that I provide each day. So, in essence, there are 3 groups. The first group are those businesses that will remain open and will not be affected. They've already stepped up and are already looking very different to what they ever have in terms of distancing and things of that nature. But this is a really critical list for every Victorian to understand and appreciate. These restrictions apply in the main in metropolitan Melbourne. There are a couple of examples, so you can read everything I'm about to say to be about Metro Melbourne, except I'll point you out a couple of examples where it needs to be statewide. But the group of businesses that will not close, will not change, they will not be modified, supermarkets, grocery stores, bottle shops, pharmacies, petrol stations, banks, news agencies, post offices, plus, of course, everybody involved in our frontline response, our comprehensive response to this pandemic. That means that people do not need to be going and buying 6 weeks' worth of groceries. I understand that there is a sense of concern in the community, and hopefully the clarity of the message today, you do not need to do that, because supermarkets, as well as grocery stores, the local fruit and veg, the local butcher, the baker, all of those shops, they will remain open. And whilst you'll only be able to go to those that are closest to you, and you'll only be able to be one person out of the house doing that for an hour, they will still be open, and they will have, to the best of everyone's ability, they will have the fullest range that they possibly can have. So there's no need for people to be going and literally buying months' worth of groceries. Those settings will not close. We are in deep conversation with Coles, Woolworths, Aldi, IGA, all of those companies. We speak with them frequently so that we've got a complete understanding of any of the decisions we make and what the impact would be at that checkout in terms of what it would practically mean for people who are shopping. And we're confident with them remaining open and some of the other decisions we've made, we can still have everything that people need. Whether every single item that you might normally buy will be on the shelves, I can't guarantee that, but there will be everything that is needed, and there's no need for people to go and shop for things in bulk. That sense of panic is simply misplaced. We don't need to do that. That's my reassurance. That's not just from me, but that's from those who run our big supermarkets as well as many other smaller stores. In terms of the second list, which is industries, you've got a long form list, and I don't propose to read through that from start to finish. But there are a number of other industries and sectors that will need to close for that 6-week period. These decisions apply from midnight this coming Wednesday. So we still have time, both the rest of today, and people will be working well into the night, continuing to work through some of the finer details, consulting, discussing, properly understanding from industry what each of these decisions might mean, and things may change in very fine detail. That's the imperfect nature of this process, whether we like that or not. So from 11:59 p.m. this Wednesday, retail will close, some manufacturing will close, some admin will close. These businesses, unless they have specific requirements to safely shut down on a slightly longer timeline, they will have to close by 11:59 on Wednesday night. To give you the retail example, for instance, Bunnings will be, you will no longer be able to go into a Bunnings store, but you will be able to collect goods without making contact with anybody. So some of those drive-through arrangements, similar arrangements for couriering things to you, so the home delivery model will be able to continue in a number of different retail sites, but retail will look very different than it has ever looked. And that's critically important, to have many, many people at home rather than at work and moving to and from work each and every day. In terms of the third category of businesses that will have to scale back the way in which they work, they will remain open, but they will look very different, and they will be operating at a significantly reduced capacity to what a normal August and September would look like. If I can give you a couple of examples. Firstly, meatworks. We know that meatworks are a really significant challenge for us. Whether it be lamb, poultry or beef, they will move to 2/3 production, so they will reduce their production by 1/3, and those workplaces will look very different. There will be some of the most stringent safety protocols that have ever been put in place in any industrial setting. Those workers will be essentially dressed as if they were a health worker, gloves and gowns, masks and shields. They'll be working in one workplace only. They will be temperature checked. They will be tested.